Oh my God, it's no secret these days that ammo shelves are looking emptier than a politician's promise come election season. But here's the real kicker. Some handguns are disappearing from the shops even quicker than the ammo you need to fill them. So how is it that certain pistols are flying off the shelves faster than the cartridges they're supposed to shoot? In this video, we're zeroing in on the 5 handguns that aren't just getting by in today's jam-packed market. They're downright running the show. We'll be covering everything from slim little pistols made for deep concealment and everyday carry, to old-school, battle-tested classics made of cold steel that folks have trusted for generations. You'll see why certain rimfire plinkers are turning into must-haves for weekend range warriors, how some tough-as-nails polymer-framed pistols are becoming favorites with both first-timers and old hands, and what keeps one compact carry piece setting the bar year after year. We're even breaking down a wildly popular modular platform that keeps shaking things up, lawsuits or not. So whether you're picking up your very first sidearm, thinking about trading up, or just looking for another good reason to add to your collection, this list is packed to the gills with proven winners from the real world. Now let's talk about the Sig P365, a pistol that turned the whole concealed carry world on its head back in 2018. When Sig rolled this little guy out, folks first raised a skeptical eyebrow, then just about everyone started digging for their wallets. Here was a pistol smaller and thinner than a Glock 43, but somehow it packed 10 rounds in a flush-fit mag. Sounded like magic, but it was real. MSRP comes in at $599, though most shops have it closer to $550 these days. That's money well spent, because the P365 set a brand new bar for what a micro-compact can do. The pistol itself is just 5.8 inches long, 4.3 inches tall, and only an inch thick. Sig's clever double-stack offset mags let them squeeze 10 rounds into that tiny grip without making it bulky or hard to hang on to. If you want more to hold, there are 12 and 15 round magazines that give you extra grip length for the range or outside the waistband carry. And they fit snug with no annoying rattle. When you get it to the range, concerns about physics go right out the window. The optional X-ray 3-day and night sights are easy to see and run nice and bright. The flat-face trigger breaks clean at about 5 pounds, and the grip angle lets your hand ride up high behind the slide, so recoil feels more like a Shield Plus than a snappy little pocket gun. After a bit of practice, you can double-tap the chest zone at 7 yards in under a second, which is something a lot of folks can't even do with bigger pistols. Sig didn't just stop at the original P365. The XL version stretches the slide to a 3.7-inch barrel and adds grip for a 12-round flush mag. Plus, it's cut for micro red dots like the Holosun 507K. The X Macro pushed things even further, giving you a whopping 17 rounds and a built-in compensator. But it still disappears under a hoodie. Every single version uses the same mag design, so even if you've got the XL, you can run the 10-round original mag for extra deep concealment. Reliability issues? Not really. Aside from the usual hiccups you get with any brand new model, the P365's proven itself. My own first-run pistol has chewed through over 5,000 rounds, only one failure. And that was a dud primer, not the gun's fault. Its heat-treated stainless chassis and nitron slide just laugh off sweat, humidity, and pocket lint, no rust, no pitting. Once folks realized how good it was, aftermarket support exploded. Wilson Combat and Icarus Precision started making fancy aluminum grip frames. Shield Arms put out 14-round mags. And holster makers flooded the market with options for appendix, ankle, and everything in between. What started as Sig's wild idea has become the gold standard for micro-compacts. Every other maker is still trying to catch up. So why does this pistol win the top spot? Simple. The P365 gives you service pistol firepower, serious shootability, and true pocket gun concealment all in one package. That combo was supposed to be impossible, but Sig made it happen, and these things still vanish from shelves as fast as they arrive. For folks who won't settle or compromise on their concealed carry, the P365 is still the king of the hill. You really ought to take a good look at the CZ75. Steel and walnut might seem like old news in today's world of plastic pistols, but the CZ75 proves there's still plenty of life left in the classics. This double-action, single-action 9mm first came out back in 1975, carrying all that Cold War heritage. But it still packs the kind of performance folks want at the range today. The newest version, the 75B, usually lists for about $699. But if you keep your eyes peeled, you'll find them closer to $650 after deals and discounts. For that kind of money, you're getting a pistol made from solid forged steel, a trigger that runs smooth as creek water, and grip ergonomics that just seem to melt into your hand like an old pair of work gloves. Now, one thing that really sets the CZ75 apart is how the slide rides inside the frame rails. That's their signature move, and it helps keep the bore axis low, which in plain talk means you get less muzzle rise and can get back on target quicker. So when you're putting rounds downrange, those follow-up shots land right where you want without having to wrestle the gun back into place. Weighs in at about 2.5 pounds loaded, so it's got some heft, but it balances so nicely that your arms don't get tired, even after a long day shooting. You get a 16+1 capacity, and magazines run under $30, so loading up for matches like USP, ESSA Production, or IDPA SSP won't leave your wallet gasping for air. But where this pistol really earns its keep is in the accuracy department. It's got cold hammer forged barrels and a tight lockup, so if you do your part, you'll be punching cloverleafs on paper targets all day. I've got a buddy who regularly rings an 8-inch steel plate at 50 yards, standing up and shooting offhand. And just laughs, it's almost cheating this thing does the work for me. The single-action trigger averages around 4 pounds, with barely any creep, and the double-action is smooth and steady at about 10 pounds with a factory spring. And if you want to take it up a notch, a short reset kit from Cajun Gunworks or CZ Custom can turn this into a competition-ready beast, all without losing out on reliability. Taking the CZ75 apart is pretty much the same as the old Browning High Power. All you have to do is line up the slide with the witness mark, give the slide stop pin a little tap, and the top half slips right off. Cleaning it is simple as can be. And thanks to the tough steel build, you can dry fire this pistol all day long without worrying about breaking the firing pin block, something you sure can't say for a lot of those striker-fired guns on the shelf. There's a whole family of CZ75 options out there too. The SP01 model adds a rail for lights or lasers and bumps up the magazine to 18 rounds. If you're chasing after competition wins, the Shadow series takes things a step further with a lighter, crisper trigger and upgraded sights made for IPSC glory. And if you want something a little easier to carry, the compact models give you a smaller frame but keep that same old school look and feel. No matter which flavor you pick, every CZ75 brings together true old-world craftsmanship with all the performance you expect from a modern pistol, showing that plastic guns don't have the market cornered on accuracy. If you're after a service pistol that feels like it rolled out of a high-end custom shop, this Czech legend will treat you right. Now, let's talk about the Sig Sauer P320, a pistol that took the word modular and actually made it mean something. The heart of this gun is the serialized fire control unit, which is a little stainless steel part that holds the trigger. And that's the only piece the law considers the firearm. So if you want a new look or feel, just pop that part out, drop it into another grip module, and just like that, you've got yourself a whole new handgun. No need to make another trip to the gun shop for paperwork. You can run a full-size slide and grip for range days or duty, then in just a few minutes. Swap it over to a compact frame and shorter slide for concealed carry. The basic full-size Nitron model usually sits at about $679. But I've seen distributor deals go as low as $479 lately, which is a steal for a pistol that can play 3 different roles without breaking a sweat. When the U.S. Army picked the P320 as their new M17 sidearm, it shot the platform straight into the spotlight. That contract meant the gun had to survive all sorts of nasty mud, sand, drop, and torture tests. And it came out the other side with only a few minor tweaks. The same upgraded striker and disconnector from the military version are found in the civilian models. So those early durability worries are long gone. Folks who shoot the P320 are quick to brag about the trigger. You get a light take-up, a crisp break right around 4.5 pounds, and a short, sharp reset that's perfect for double taps or fast follow-ups. Recoil feels softer than a lot of other polymer pistols thanks to the low bore axis and smart grip shape. In my experience, accuracy is right up there with custom Glocks. One of my compact P320s punched a ragged hole at 15 yards with spear gold dot ammo. If you want versatility, the P320 320s got it in spades. You can switch the slide assembly and magazine and go from 9mm to 40 Smith & Wesson, 357 Sig, or even 45 ACP if you pick up the right full-size grip. SIG's X-Series grip modules give you better texture and a nice undercut under the trigger guard for a more secure hold. And if you like metal frames, the AXG aluminum models have got you covered. It comes from the factory with an optics-ready slide. Just pop off the plate and mount up a Romeo 1 Pro or a Leupold Delta Point. Aftermarket companies like ZEV and Wilson Combat are turning out skeletonized slides, threaded barrels, and competition triggers, so you've got as many options as Glock fans do. Swapping out sights is a breeze too, since the common SIG dovetail makes night sights or fiber optics an easy upgrade. Sure, you'll still hear folks bring up those early drop fire issues. Some say the voluntary recall didn't fix everything, and there's still lawsuits swirling around. But none of that has slowed the P320 down. It keeps flying off the shelves and holds its ground as one of the top-selling polymer striker-fired pistols out there today. Let's talk Smith & Wesson and their M&P lineup. Back in the early 2000s, after Glock took off like wildfire, Smith & Wesson decided to throw their hat in the ring with the M&P, a striker-fired pistol designed to fit a shooter's hand instead of feeling like you're gripping a block of wood. The current M2.0 full-size in 9mm has a sticker price of about $549. And truth be told, it's worth every penny with all the upgrades you'll actually notice when you put it to work. One of the first things folks appreciate is the interchangeable backstrap setup. You get 4 different sizes in the box, and swapping them out is as easy as twisting a Torx tool. The aggressive grip texture keeps the gun glued to your hand during quick strings. But it's not so rough that it'll chew up your skin if you're carrying inside the waistband. Plus, there's a sturdy steel chassis built right into the polymer frame, which cuts down on flex during recoil. That means better accuracy and adds years to the pistol service life. Now, Smith & Wesson used to catch some grief for their triggers, but they listened and fixed it up with a flat-face trigger that breaks nice and clean at 5 pounds and gives you both a crisp sound and feel on the reset. Magazine-wise, the full-size holds 17+1, while the 4-inch compact packs 15+1. If you're going super slim, the Shield and Shield Plus micro versions come in at 10+1 or 13+1. But you still get the same smooth trigger and simple takedown, so your muscle memory stays sharp whether you're at the range or carrying. Cops and agencies love the M&P for its ambidextrous slide stop, reversible mag release, and the option for a manual thumb safety. Field stripping is a breeze. Just lock the slide back, flip a lever, and ease the slide forward. No need to pull the trigger to break it down, and that little feature alone convinced more than a few departments to switch over. Especially with all those accidental discharge stories making the news. Out on the range, this pistol tracks flat as a board. My own 5-inch Pro model wears a Trijicon SRO on top, and it'll shoot 2-inch groups at 25 yards with Federal HST ammo. Reliability is top-notch. Mine made it through 2,000 rounds with a 99.8% success rate. Only hiccuping when an old extractor spring needed swapping out, which took all of 5 minutes. Aftermarket support for the M&P has exploded since folks saw how well it runs. You've got apex triggers, faxon barrels, holsters galore, pretty much everything you could want for dialing it in for competition, duty, or everyday carry. Throw in night sights for $100 and a magwell funnel on the cheap, and the M2.0 can keep up with pistols that cost a whole lot more. At the end of the day, Smith & Wesson built a true workhorse that actually fits the shooter. And it's no wonder the gun community put their stamp of approval on it. Let's talk about the Glock 19, the pistol that just about every other sidearm gets measured against these days. This little workhorse manages to be both compact enough for everyday carry and big enough to pull double duty in a holster on the job. With 15 plus 1 rounds on tap, you get plenty of firepower in a package that's easy to hide, but still fills your hand like a proper fighting pistol. The Gen 5 versions list for about $647, and the Gen 4 models usually run closer to $600 even. No matter which one you choose, you're getting the kind of reliability that's been proven in the field and a parts network so big, you can fix or upgrade just about anything without breaking a sweat. Size-wise, the Glock 19 sports a 4-inch barrel and a grip that'll fit most folks' hands without leaving a pinky dangling. That shape helps keep muzzle flip under control without having to mess with fancy compensators or heavy guide rods. The Gen 5's marksman barrel pairs traditional rifling with tighter specs, so when you're using good ammo, you can start stacking shots right around 1.5 inches at 25 yards. Right out of the box, the trigger runs about 5.5 pounds with that familiar, crisp break and a reset you can feel every single time. But what really makes the Glock 19 shine is how universal it is. You can use magazines from the bigger Glock 17, swap parts across different generations, and just about every holster maker, big or small, has something that'll fit it. There's a mountain of drop-in aftermarket triggers, so you can make it as light or as safe as you need. Optics plates, extended controls, and barrels are everywhere these days, so you can start with a basic Glock 19 and slowly turn it into a tricked-out, red dot-wearing range blaster, and you don't have to cut or machine a single thing. Police departments keep coming back to the 19 because it's so darn simple to work on. Armorers can learn everything they need in a day, and most repairs only call for a punch and a flathead screwdriver. You almost never hear about a Glock 19 failing out in the field. When it comes to shootability, this thing seals the deal. You can land tight pairs at 7 yards, knock down plate racks all day, and as long as you stick to the basics, the pistol just keeps delivering. Folks who carry concealed love that balance between capacity and size, especially for appendix carry. Just tuck it in your waistband, drop a 17-round mag in your pocket, and you're out the door with 33 rounds. No need for big clunky magazine extensions. Plenty of brands try to chase after the Glock 19's reputation, but none have managed to knock it off its perch. Simple design, a bottomless well of parts and support, and the kind of trust that comes from decades on both the battlefield and city streets mean the Glock 19 will always have a seat at the table. And that's all she wrote. Folks, 5 pistols that are flying off the shelves even quicker than the ammo meant to feed them. And you can see why with all the solid reasons we covered. If there's another pistol you think ought to be on this list, or you've got an idea for our next roundup, drop your thoughts down in the comments and let us know what's on your mind. While you're here, don't forget to give that like button a good smack, share this video with your shooting buddies, hit subscribe for more no-nonsense gun talk, and ring that bell so you never miss what's coming up next. Appreciate you watching. Stay safe out there and keep shooting straight.